everybody, this is the #1 potato boss from MogPod Gaming coming at you with another Opus IV set review for Earth. Next to me, I've got Jared.
Hello.
And across the room, I got Kevin.
Hello.
And over here, we got Chris.
Hello.
So we're gonna do a set review. We're gonna give the cards a ratings out of 5. This is a power rating of how much you would consider this card in a good deck. And in addition to that, we're gonna give it a +0, 1, or 2 of how much this card can get better if you optimize the deck around it. So without further ado, let's just get straight into the Earth cards with our very first one, Atomos. Atomos is a 6-cost Earth summon with an EX burst. Select one of the 2 following actions. Choose 1 dull forward, break it. Choose 1 forward, deal it 8,000 damage.
I quite like this. It fills a gap in Earth's removal options that it otherwise didn't have.
Yeah.
Usually, Earth summons or Earth removal relies on you having a forward to measure, like a forward to direct their power at an enemy forward.
Mm-hmm.
So Atomos doesn't need you to have anything else. He'll eat the castle for you.
It's something that Earth kind of needs, and also it's an EX burst removal, which you always want to put as many of those as you can in your deck, I guess.
I think Kevin has something to say about that EX.
The EX part is the only really relevant part of the card. It's kind of just like the 7-cost Odin and how you will use it. Just hope you get lucky and hit it off the top.
So Murad, what's our score for Atomos?
I think we gave the score 3+0. That it's genuinely just a solid good card, but doesn't have any real synergy.
You may choose to include it, but
three power rating 3 is like, it will be like in your mind at least a little bit when you're making a deck.
Yep.
Okay. So next card, do you want to talk us through it, Chris?
So this is a 3-drop Dark Knight, Common Soldier standard unit from Tactics. It's a 7k forward, and it has, when Dark Knight enters the field, choose 1 forward you control. It gains +1,000 power for each point of damage you have received until the end of the turn.
So I actually really like this card because I love the starter Red 13 from the starter deck from FFTCG, and with just 3 points of damage, this could be essentially what you'd use that card for.
Well, if you're only considering the auto ability.
Yes.
Like Red 13 has
other things,
significant other synergies. He can be searched for with Jesse. He has a not ignorable special ability.
But Dark Knight can be searced for with an EXing searcher.
And also
so it's actually better than my
and also you can put multiple of them, so you can just keep on stockpiling them.
Yeah, but it doesn't make your cloud deal 7k.
That's true. But I don't know. I think it's just if you really care about power, and if you're able to surprise this in with a Devout or a Tama, then you might consider it.
It's a good line breaker, which is what people tend to use Red 13 for. It gets you through when there's been a board stall.
If you're going to Devout it back, you'd rather have Gipple, but with Warder's new Devout S card that brings back only standard units, it costs 3 or less. This is the highest value thing you could bring back with it, right?
That's very good.
Also, you probably want to use it on high value forwards, maybe forwards with on damage triggers to just force them through.
First strike.
To just force them through for damage.
All right. What was our score for Dark Knight?
Even though we talked a lot of good things about Dark Knight, just essentially he's not going to be considered in every Earth deck, so it's a 2+0. Do you want to tell us the next card, Kevin?
Okay, so this is a 5-cost Vincent with an EX burst. It reads, when Vincent enters the field, you may search for 1 card named Vincent and add it to your hand. Obviously, there are a lot of those. He also has an S, Galleon Blast, S, Earth. Vincent gains 4,000 power until the end of the turn.
Can we all just appreciate the fact that the Vincent Searcher is a Vincent?
It really just pushes that Vincent archetype.
How many Vincents does this put us at?
There's 6.
There's 6 total Vincents. So you can have 18 Vincents in your deck.
And one of them finds more.
Yes.
And its S ability itself is not so unrelevant.
It's nice that it has an S, considering it finds a card with its own name.
That's right. Yeah.
But generally, you want this to die as quickly as possible, so you can play the Vincent you
Yeah.
found, probably the
or
legendary.
just to have it EX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you play it and then your opponents at no point in time can effectively block an 11k forward, he's gonna get through for some
And
damage.
the other thing is, Earth has quite a few ways to kill their own forwards in this Opus.
Yeah.
They previously did as well, but now, like in Opus 4,
yeah.
we can get some
Yeah.
really good value by killing their own stuff.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it doesn't suffer because its name is Vincent. Just a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, because again, he's still a relevant forward.
It can be discarded for other Vincents.
Yeah.
So, there's like almost like no downside to putting in a deck where you want to be using Vincents.
This probably replaces the promo Vincents and a lot of Earth decks with more than 3 Vincents.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the score for this Vincent?
It's a solid card for 3, but you get +2 for the synergy because in a Vincent deck, you're gonna want to run it, and it will be amazing in a Vincent deck.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
pretty much an auto.
it's an auto include.
Aside from the L Vincent, he's the only other one that you're gonna want to have multiple.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
right. Yeah. Next card. Do you want to talk to us about it?
Sure.
Jared?
Wedge. He's a 3-cost backup. He's an Avalanche operative, which may be more relevant than you might initially expect. It says when Wedge enters the field, you may search for one job Avalanche forward and add it to your hand.
Yep. Which currently is only Barrett.
It's only
Only
Barrett
Barrett.
at the moment.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe
well,
one in future sets.
The thing is with searches, standard rating for all searches is 3+0
yeah.
because we assume that all searches have a target,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they don't get extra synergy for having
they
targets.
don't get much better.
Yeah.
The card itself doesn't get much better.
And
Yeah.
like Kevin said, in future sets, if they print more not Barrett
Avalanche
Avalanche operatives, I'm
forwards.
trying to think. I think the before Crisis Final Fantasy VII mobile game had other Avalanche operative characters. So if that's ever a feature game,
Then we might have a thing on our hands.
yeah, we might have some more.
Going really deep
I'm
into the
done.
seven franchise there, Jared.
That compilation has so many games.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, he's another searcher for Barrett, so
Mhm.
some of the, actually all the Barretts have a special. So
Yeah.
you can just search him twice with Wedge and Jesse now.
That's
and
true.
Get that off pretty consistently.
Yeah.
And most of the time their S's tend to be relevant as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So
Dealing
Yeah.
damage.
All right, so
Yeah. We're speaking of 3+0. You guys
Yeah.
must have heard. It's just a, it's just searcher. Next card is a 2-cost Earth forward Pugilist at 5,000 power. It's a standard unit. You can have multiple of them on the field. For each job standard unit forward you control other than Pugilist gains 2,000 power. So like, even if you have some sort of standard units, this is gonna be great.
WRO members are standard units.
Yeah,
so
Exactly that too.
you have your 2 WRO members in play. He's a 9k 2-drop. That's why people play the WRO members.
That's right,
Because
yeah.
they're 9k 2 drops.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just another WRO member for
Yeah.
those decks.
In those Earth decks that just want to make up a line of dudes,
Small dudes, yeah.
he's probably going to see some play.
And then comes Shadow Lord.
maybe this is why Shadow
yeah,
Lord
it's-
exists.
And if you're playing like a standard unit deck, he's just gonna get gigantic.
That's right,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, give him the plus 2k and first strike from Opus
War-
IV Warrior.
Yeah,
Blast.
yeah. And then he can be just like 11k first strike attacker.
So what did we give him?
So we gave him a 3 for a solid card, but +2 for in those standard unit decks, he becomes huge.
Even in
Yep.
just like normal Earth decks with row members.
So next card is Chris, you want to tell us about the next card?
Yeah, sure. So the next card is Black Belt. It's a Common Soldier 2 CP backup, also a standard unit. And when Black Belt enters the field, choose one forward you control, and it gains 5,000 power until the end of the turn.
We debated this card a little
Quite a
bit.
bit.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Trying to think about it. It's perhaps a lot better than you might initially think
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
consider it synergizing with other cards, right?
Mhm.
I think like like my only thing is that there's so many Earth backups that you want to run.
Yeah.
Is that it's gonna clog up your Earth backups when you do play it.
That's
but
the biggest downside is it takes up a backup slot.
that's pretty much it. But like its cost is with the backup as well. Like you know,
yeah,
paying 2
yeah, exactly.
for a backup, but you know
It's like a good thing in a bad thing.
Yeah,
But I think it's going to be used in mainly non-Earth decks that generally have weaker forwards that want to get through for damage.
That's
so
right.
like
Yeah.
Ice has a lot of on-damage triggers.
Genesis.
Yeah.
Walk.
And as soon, or even within Earth again,
Yeah.
lots of things that care about the power of your forwards. So
Yeah.
anything which cares about the how powerful your forward is,
Mm.
Black Belt can give it a massive boost.
That's right.
Roll down.
Yeah,
If
for
you
example,
have
Roll
the Opus 3 Yang, you can just maybe just wrath their board with the S.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like without having to
With-
let it die in a turn
Kick.
because of using Kev.
Yeah, with kick.
Yeah.
And then there was also that synergy with the Opus 2 legendary Varn.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. We talk about
Yeah,
that too.
yeah. So yeah, I was amazed when I found out that you can play this on Van, have a 13k
13k.
13k attacker, get this back to your hand. Next turn, you can play it again, have another 13k attacker,
Yep.
and you can essentially either make them lose a forward or get 3 points of damage every turn if they don't deal with your Van. You know,
Yeah.
so it's it can be very strong. I had lots of synergies. So I think we gave it a 2+2.
Yep.
Yeah. Lot of synergy, but not considered in every Earth deck. So Kevin, you want to tell us about the next card?
Okay, so the next card is Black Mage. It is a 2-cost backup with Earth, Dull, choose 1 forward. It cannot become dull by your opponent's summons or abilities this turn.
Yeah. we were. I mean, like Chris was just saying before. It's like this is a hate card.
Yes.
It's just like essentially a hate card for Ice and Lightning players. And
More
I think
of the Ice, I feel.
yeah,
I think mostly Ice.
mostly Ice. Yeah, but like I think that Earth needed this.
Are you gonna play it?
I will
Wait,
definitely.
Wait, really?
Definitely, yes.
I don't know that
100%.
it's worth.
Like if
slot.
the other Black Belt is like, oh no, but it takes up a backup slot and it's giving you plus 5,000 power.
I
That's
think-
No, but
I think
that's
Mariah
only
was
one.
the backup slot who was afraid of it taking up. With this.
Yeah.
Um,
No, because you need to have some sort of counterplay against these kind of things.
I
you know?
think the only reason they printed this card in Earth was that if this could have just been Activator forward, but then if
Yeah.
they printed that, then we'd be very, very close to an infinite loop. So that's why they had to make this an Earth type effect and not put it in Wind.
Yeah. I think.
Okay.
I think also like the other. I mean, if you're worried about one of your guys being dull, the other solution to that is just play more guys,
Yeah.
which is what Earth already wants to be
Yeah,
doing,
well-
like with Pugilist, right?
Yeah.
Like, so if you can advance your game plan while like counteracting your opponent's control effects, you should be doing that instead of worrying about just like because. I mean, they can use a second ghoul to dull this thing.
Yeah, I know,
Right?
but this.
Oh,
but-
dull the thing you're protecting, rather.
Yeah, but just having this on the field is kind of like, okay, now you need to have 2 dull effects.
as the resident Ice player, I love it when my opponent has effects like this on the field. I've mentioned in one of our podcasts
Yeah.
before, right, with like
Yeah.
Ash and Astrologian,
Yeah.
where you get them to invest so much in keeping the damn thing active that
Yeah.
you just kill it anyway.
Yeah.
And it's like,
But
yeah.
then I
And
like
also,
Titan.
If you're gonna use this, it's probably going to be on your opponent's turn, unless they try to dull something on your turn, which is possible.
Yeah.
And that means you've done less on your turn, which means you're not playing as proactively, which is where you want to be if you're playing against.
Yeah,
this.
and then they just don't even have to attempt to do anything in their turn to your stuff. They just use all their CP effectively.
Yeah.
No,
And-
yeah.
I think Black Mage is a trap.
Really.
It seems like it.
Mm.
Even as a hate card.
And I'm a fire player. I love Black Mages.
Black Mage
This-
Tribal.
This is a petty imitation. of Black Mage.
It exists because it exists.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Like
just-
this kind of effect needed to exist to be in the game. This is what Earth does.
Yeah.
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 But like we were talking before, how it's kind of difficult to write hate cards.
Yeah.
But I think we're just gonna give this card just that 3+0 because it kind of should be considered, I guess.
That's just our generic
Yeah.
cards that gain their power by hating on a specific
Yeah.
strategy.
Mm.
It doesn't really fit within our rating system.
Yeah.
Hate
Right.
cards. We kind of did the same with Shadow Lord, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
If
a
it-
bit too specific.
If it turns out that next week in your local game store, when you go to play Final Fantasy, everyone is playing ice decks, maybe it might be worth devoting 1 backup slot to a black mage.
I would say more, but yeah, you guys get the idea, I guess.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Jared, do you want to tell us about the next card?
Sure. Next up is our first Earth legendary, the 8-drop Kefka. He is a forward. He's 8k, and he has the text: you can put a total of 3 forwards or monsters you control into the break zone to play Kefka from your hand to the field. When Kefka enters the field, choose 1 forward or monster an opponent controls, break it. So this guy, he's very good.
Our resident Egyptian god.
There we go. I
Yeah.
was waiting for that. I was giving you like a time limit, and then I just said it.
Resident Egyptian. Yeah, I think like and how in every opus there's like a breakout card, of like Opus 2 is Alcid, Opus 3 was Zena. I think this is the breakout card for this opus.
Well, he's wonderful because he's an Earth card that isn't an Earth card.
You don't have to pay any Earth CP to play him. You
Yeah.
just sack 3 guys that you don't want right now.
Yeah.
And he's still not light or dark, so you can still just discard him
That's
if you
right.
need to
Yeah.
for CP. Sure, it'll be Earth CP, the worst kind, but
No,
it's
no,
CP nevertheless.
But the other important thing is he's in Earth and he's unconditional removal for both forwards and
And
monsters.
monsters.
He's the only
Yep.
Earth removal for monsters, right?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, but so this in mono earth or mono fire, like kind of wants to run this because
Yep.
how else are you gonna get rid of problematic
It-
monsters?
It's also worth 8 CP when you're killing forwards probably that are worth like more than 2.
Yeah.
So he's costed fairly and has this flexible alternate cost.
Yeah.
And like I was saying before about being able to kill your own forwards in Earth. I mean, well, this you don't even have to play Earth, but like this card is one of those things that lets you break your forwards for value.
That's
I
right. yeah.
guarantee you, people would play the 7-drop Odin if it came in on an 8k forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, and that's
Pretty
that's
much
what he
Kefka,
is.
Yeah. Pay 1 more
Yeah.
for an 8k body, but only
Yeah.
on your turn.
And even costs are always easier to pay anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Yep, very, very good. Very good
And
card.
also, as you mentioned before, it gives fire and lightning the monster removal, or also gives elements like water, just the permanent forward removal that they are like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you play it in one of those.
Yeah, I think I might. There are
I
a
think
lot of
I think this is a
bring-backs,
consideration in every deck.
Yes.
Yes.
Every
Like-
deck.
Like
considers
every
that.
deck, you'd be like, okay, do I put Kefka in now?
Yeah,
And it's like, yeah.
and then it can just get insane if you actually synergize with breaking your
Yeah.
forwards
Yeah,
as well.
if you have any good ETBs or break zone effects or both.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the magic pot works well with this as well.
Yeah.
So many
Maybe
things.
there's a 2-cost Kefka.
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
turn into this 8-cost Kefka.
Whenever
for
you
1
want.
CP.
Having said all that, even though he's very strong under consideration in basically every deck, regardless of element, it's not an auto include in every
Yeah.
every deck.
Yes.
It's
So for that reason, what score did we give it for Red?
is 4+1 because
Yeah.
it has a lot of synergy and it's a strong card, but like it's not
Misses out on
overly
the
strong.
5 on the power score just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he doesn't go into literally every
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Wow,
right.
he doesn't go
Yeah.
to literally
Yeah.
every
Once-
deck.
once-
Terrible card.
Once you synergize with it, it becomes a 5. It's an auto.
Yeah.
5 is auto include
Yes,
basically in our system.
Yeah. Okay. The next card is Goblin. It's a Earth monster at 1 cost. Put Goblin into the break zone. Choose 1 forward. It gains 2,000 power until the end of the turn. It's pretty vanilla monster, but it does what Earth does, I guess.
Yeah, we had pretty split opinions on this. Neurotic
Yeah.
first, you had pretty differing opinions on
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
like,
should
I
I go first
go
in
ahead,
favor of the
go
card?
ahead. Yeah, sure.
so
Go ahead.
I think because I'm usually against Earth more than I'm playing Earth,
Yeah.
and when I'm against Earth and they like this basically gives all your guys a virtual plus 2k buff until you have the trick that beats it.
That's right.
And so it's such a minimal investment to get that virtual plus 2,000. Plus 2,000 power is a lot of power to give all your guys. Like, you're playing guys that are already on curve, all their effect is they're bigger than on curve,
Yeah.
right? And then they become, like, up to 2 places past the curve.
Yeah.
Like, already, like, that's really a huge
it's the
deal.
psychological
It's just-
pressure you put on your
Like,
opponent.
it's not even like psychological. It's just like these things are effectively plus 2,000 power,
Like,
even
my,
without using the goblin.
my only problem with this card is that, like, what deck space is it gonna occupy? Right, it's not gonna occupy forward. It's not gonna occupy backup. It's gonna occupy a summon, and Earth has a lot of good summons, and most of the value from because I play a lot of Earth, is that most of the value you get is from surprising your opponents with blockers, with summons that they would lose their forwards. They lose that value on their forward, and so when you have this goblin in the field, it's telegraphed, right? Like they can see it. But if you have a golem in your hand, right? They were like, oh, he might have a golem, but I'm gonna go for it anyway, and that's when they lose their value, you know. But with this, they're gonna have to be like, okay, I can have to go over this goblin and then hope that he doesn't have anything. It's just I'd rather play a golem.
It does put the goblin play in a really awkward spot when you attack with a forward, and it's obvious you can goblin it, and then they block anyway.
Yeah,
and then it's like,
or the turn after you play goblin, they just attack into you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
At that point, you know, well, oh, this goblin isn't going to do its job.
Yeah.
And in that situation, if they're attacking you, then golem would have just been better.
Yeah.
Because, well, if 2k is a lot, 4k is
double a lot.
Yeah.
Double a lot.
Right? So, yeah, it's
you also don't save much. You only need to keep up 1 CP for golem. And then Goblin having the 1 CP upfront paid, it's not like saving 2 CP or 3
Yeah.
CP or anything.
Yeah.
Too
So
much of a
I do
benefit.
see the downside of Goblin.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to argue.
No, I do
points in
see it. I
favour
do
as
see
well.
you made me look at him in a more favorable light, but
Yeah.
still it's not quite there. So we
I
would
think-
give it.
just one more thing. I think if I'm going to play this goblin, it's going to be alongside all of the other really cheap monsters in some dark Kefka deck, so I can just hope I don't die and build up more and more monsters. And look, now they're all 7k.
Yeah, and then you use that Kefka to like make them 7k, and then you magic pot it.
Yeah.
The 8 plus Kefka.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, that'll work.
Yeah. So I think we give this card at the end a 2+0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to tell us the next card, Chris?
Yes, I do. So our next card is Jesse. It's a 2 CP backup from 7. It's an Avalanche operative, and they say the cost required to play card name Cloud or card name Barrett onto the field is reduced by 1.
I want to like this card, but it's called Jesse.
It's called Jesse. That's his biggest problem. But I'm gonna make it work. I'm
Hey.
gonna make it work somehow.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see the downside.
Points in its favor, making the new light cloud cost 2.
Yeah.
That's not nothing.
Other
Yeah.
points in its favour is the Wedge existing and Vincent existing means you still have searches for some of your 7 forwards.
That's right, yeah,
even
yeah,
if you're not playing
yeah, yeah.
Jesse.
And sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, and I was gonna say that this counts as like a pseudo forward for your starter cloud.
I suppose it does, yeah.
Yeah, so you can have like even cheaper 6-cost cloud.
You
on the
get
field.
CP back.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Yeah.
Points
One-
against this card.
well-
It's called Jesse.
It's
It's an avalanche operative.
yeah, that's
And-
true.
Barrett wants her avalanche operatives to explode,
Yeah.
and
This one wants to stay on
she
board.
wants to be. Yeah, she's not a one-off use like wedges.
or like the other Jesse.
Yeah.
Or the other Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't help you find the cards you want to play. She doesn't help you find a Cloud or Barrett like the
Yeah.
other Jesse does. And even if you do draw it eventually and play at least one, it's only as good as the other Jesse.
Maybe in some sort of like water earth deck that's playing the original light cloud and you can play the new light cloud as well and Barrett's, so you like Moogle and
Yeah.
Poo Poo.
Yeah, maybe.
But
Just play them for really cheap.
yeah,
Mhm.
it's hard to. I mean, the starter Barrett costs 1 with her.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean,
No matter
a 1 costs 6k with a special ability.
But a 2-drop backup that's worth 1.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So I think at the end we give this card a 2+0.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Kevin, do you want to tell us the next card?
Okay, so this is our next Earth Legendary, the 6-cost Shantoto. She reads, when Shantoto is dealt damage, deal the same amount of damage to all the forwards other than Shantoto. This includes your own. If a forward damaged by this ability is put into the break zone this turn, remove it from the game instead. She also has an S ability, Colossal Shantoto, which is S and 3 Earth crystals and Dull, and deals 5,000 damage to all the forwards. This includes Shantoto. which will then deal 5,000 to everything else again.
I love how it doesn't. I just realised this now. It doesn't say all forwards in play. It just says to all the forwards.
All the forwards.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
the
all the
forwards.
forwards.
Forwards in the break zone.
It's like,
Take
oh,
it.
no, it's like, oh no, I've got this 2 cost Thief on my hand. I guess I have to.
That your deck just mills for all your 5Ks. It just gone.
Anything she could have killed dies.
Oh wow. No, this is not just all the forwards in your game. It kills all
Yeah,
the forwards in the world.
People's booster packs just get smaller. Like, where'd they go? Where'd my Ragni go?
You're holding your Onion Knight, having just bounced it back to your hand, and then it just disintegrates.
Yeah,
Your
it's like,
fingers.
oh, no.
It's like
No,
Back
it's
to the
fine. It was a
Future.
foil on Knight. You've also got a Mario net pack. So
okay.
Okay.
or it disappeared back to like wherever it got created, and then it comes back into
Oh, okay.
into the pack.
Oh wow.
Okay.
But yeah, so let's talk about the card now.
I really like this Shantoto.
Yeah, I like it less so, but
In the face of because I'm glad that this Shantoto, even though she doesn't come in and remove everything like the Opus one does, and that Opus 1 Shantoto has been an all-star since the beginning of the
that's
game.
right, yeah.
This one does still wrath your board and can threaten to continue to wrath your opponent's boards long after you've played it, provided you can protect it. Right?
My only problem is that in the optimal situation, you want Shantoto to be the only forward on your side of the field.
Or you just want, big
You know?
forwards.
Mm.
And
Yeah,
like
if
an Earth
everything you
player does.
have is bigger than theirs,
Yeah.
you can deal the minimum amount of damage to kill all of their forwards while leaving
I
yours
guess so.
alive.
Yeah.
Toto, she costs 6 though.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
It's a
does.
true 6. It doesn't search something to be an
And
effective.
it doesn't have
like,
an
less-
ETB.
No.
But
Yeah.
this
You
amount
get-
of text and this text in particular, I think is 6 CP
Yeah.
worth of
It's
text.
no, it's worth it, but like, imagine getting Leviathan. That hurts.
That's
Yeah.
devastating.
That
Yeah,
hurts.
but
Yeah, really
I guess
hurts.
just that
Like,
happens
it
to
gets-
other 6 drops as well.
That's why they're not very good.
I suppose.
And also
Yeah.
with cards like Cecil, this card is really good
Mhm.
because that means your own board doesn't take damage.
Yep.
Yeah.
I even with the original rare Cecil, if we're afraid of
Leviathan.
Leviathans.
Yeah.
I don't mind this 5-drop going.
But the 6-drop, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all these combos with our 5 CP and 6 CP cards,
Well,
that are true 5 and 6 CP.
where I was thinking about this was going to be a Wind Earth deck, which traditionally speaking, if you're on Wind and Earth, you can keep your forwards alive.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Your like shroud effects from your Aeriths. And
It's
things
not
like
a,
that.
the problem with her isn't her dying.
And you also get what's Ritz, right? And then
Yeah,
Yeah.
when,
which
Yeah.
stops bounce effects from
Vayne
affecting
just
your guys.
completely shuts it down.
Mm.
No,
But-
but
but-
Earth has
dual-
more tools
Yeah.
to deal with Vayne now.
Earth
Mm.
can play Hecatonka, which we will get to soon,
Yeah.
on the Shantoto, which will deal itself damage and remove
Mhm.
remove a opposing forward as well.
I don't think this card carries its own weight.
No, it definitely goes into a
Like-
deck that can maximize it.
Yeah.
It will be a Shantoto deck.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But like, it does get little points off for it to be named Shantoto.
Yeah,
Because they
that's
would
it.
want the
Just
backup
like with
Shantoto.
Jesse.
Yeah,
right?
it's
That-
quite a big downside.
There's a
Shantoto.
large, so much of this card is being balanced into a corner.
Mm.
Mm.
So I think we gave this card a 3 that you might consider in a deck, but the +2 is just gonna be put an auto include in a Shantoto deck when you're gonna
Not yet.
put all that synergy
It's gonna
around
define.
It's
like,
it
Yeah.
defines the Shantoto.
It's a
not-
major build around.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which just might make it. So the next card. What rating do we give the next card?
The next
We ju-
card. The next card is the only card in the set that we have given it the rating Earth out of 5.
Let's move on.
It's the 1-cost warrior standard unit that's 4K. I mean,
Yeah, we can skip
This
these kinds of cards. They're just
this is-
vanilla.
this is-
Uh,
duh.
I love that card. This is like this is what Earth is. Look what it can
Alright,
do.
but the
I'm a
next
big
card.
fan of this next card.
Yeah. So tell us
yes.
about it, Jared.
It's new 4-cost 6 category 6 forward called Dardaluma. It's an 8K, and it says when Dardaluma is chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities, choose up to 1 forward in opponent controls, deal it 4K damage. When Dardaluma is dealt damage, choose 1 forward in opponent controls and deal it 4K damage. There's so much combo potential in this
Yeah.
guy.
So let's address
Such
the
a-
elephant in the room here. The Ishtila combo
Yes.
is that you can use Ishtila's pay 1 wind effect to deal 1,000 damage to Dadaluma, which will then in turn deal 4,000 damage to
Mhm.
anything you choose.
there are even things in Earth that you can use as well, like the
Yeah.
Pelennor from
Will deal
the last
1K.
Opus.
Yeah.
Deal 1k to all things. It also hits Studluma, so
Mm.
then you get to deal 5k effectively to one of your opponent's
Mm.
things. And then, like we've mentioned the Hecatonka that we're going to be talking about soon as well. There are lots of ways to get this thing to go
And
off.
even if you're not utilizing on its own, it's also just hard for your opponents to kill without losing
That's right.
something.
Yeah.
Fire players and lightning players aren't going to be able to efficiently kill Dartaluma. Like all of Fire's non-red mage removal.
Mm.
Like if I go to Bahamut this guy, they get to Bahamut one of my guys.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
If I go to play Al Cid and an Onion Knight targeting this guy, my Al Cid and my Onion Knight also die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you lose all that value because
Exactly.
you just lost. Yeah.
And
Just lost your forward.
that's worse than Odin in that situation. I mean, he can be Odin, but
Yeah.
even then, if you've got a 4K guy, or you've got a 4K guy, and I've got somebody who's bigger than 4K, and I've got some extra damage like an Ifrit or something in hand, there's lots of counterplay. This is like I'm not a big fan of Last Opus's Deleter because he doesn't affect the game state in a way that you can determine. Whereas
Yeah.
this guy, you get to make the decisions where the 4K goes.
He's in charge. His pose is just like fight me right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's just like, what is this?
Why is there smoke coming from my fingers?
Uh,
He's also got a little crown. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Alright, so
yeah.
why do we
So
give this card?
so our give us is that it's definite consideration in deck, so it's a 3, and +2 for when it can really utilize it. It's gonna make that deck.
Extremely
Got
powerful.
lots of synergy.
and a lot of the times in just normal Earth decks, it'll be +1 as well.
Yep.
So the next card is probably my favorite card in Opus 4. It's
Yeah.
Tama. Tama is a 7-cost backup. When Tama enters the field, choose one Earth forward of cost 5 or less in your break zone, play it onto the field, and there's an ability, pay 6 of any CP, dull, put Tama into the break zone, choose one Earth forward of cost 5 or less in your break zone, play it onto the field, dull. You can only use this ability during your turn. I just really love this card. It's like there's so many things to talk about. It's essentially a 0-cost backup when you get a 5-cost forward onto the field, and
I think you
it's
should
like
explain what you mean by that.
Yeah.
okay. So say that you have like 3 backups, right? And you want to play a 5-cost forward. You're gonna have to discard a card and then play that 5-cost forward onto the field, right? But if you also have Tama in your hand, then you can discard that 5-cost forward and the other card that you were gonna discard anyway, and then tap all your backups to play the Tama, and then you can pick up that 5-cost forward from your break zone and play it onto the field. And essentially,
You got the Tama for free in this.
you got the Tama for free, and then you've got a 5-cost forward. So it's like you know, it's very good. But its downside is obviously it has to have a lot of CP investment, and
You have to have 5 cost forwards worth playing
At the time that you want to play it as well.
Yeah.
at the time you want to play Tama.
yeah, but there's right now there isn't actually that many 5-cost Earth forwards that are amazing. I mean, I still like the legendary deleter. The flavorful one for this one is Brandelius.
He finds more WAF characters.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
there are those like Hyun
yeah.
in the
yeah, with fire, yeah,
and Fire
yeah.
cares about you having WAF characters.
And even if you just get a 4-drop monster, a 4-drop forward, he's just a 1-cost.
I think the best
Backup.
targets for him are the 4.
Yeah. So like
Well,
Gipple.
there isn't anything that costs 5 that you actually want to play.
No, there is, but yeah, it
Like what?
depends. I told you the Deleter and Brandelius.
Yeah. Do you really want to play those?
I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind bringing back that Vincent if I had to.
Oh yeah, and the new
Yeah,
Vincent.
that
the new
Vincent's the
Vincent.
best
I
5-drop
think
one,
it is
but the
the
4-drop
only
Vincent
target.
is still a better
It's
thing
actually
to get back
target,
with it.
If you've
That,
got,
and speaking of, that's actually the value of Tama. It's unlike Devout, where the value is making the massive plays that come back. The value of Tama is that over the long haul, it counts as 2 extra copies of your best cards, or your best forwards at least.
best Earth forward.
Yeah, your best Earth forward. Oh, then it gets narrower and narrower. But it's still like Vincent's really hard to get rid of, the 4-drop legendary
That's right.
Vincent.
Yeah.
And having to get rid of it 3 times, and that's just the one Vincent. There's still
And
2 other
that's
copies in the
one
deck.
Tama.
Yeah, you can
Yeah, that's
potentially
one
have to
Tama
deal-
and 1 Vincent.
One
Like,
Vincent
there's
for,
still
like, yeah.
other Tamas and Vincent
Yeah,
sets.
yeah.
So
You could potentially have to deal with a Vincent 9 times in a game.
yeah.
Mm.
So that's the value of Tama, is like the long haul, the attrition. It's not the
And
crazy
I
tricks
know I
you could do
did
with it.
just say when talking about Dardalum, I didn't like the previous deleter, the 5-drop deleter. But when your opponents do have to kill it 3 times,
Nah, you just play
That's-
Vayne. You don't have to even touch it. You don't have to touch it with Vayne.
Yeah.
No, but Earth has a lot of ways to deal with Vayne now, like we explained.
That's true. It's
so
the-
that when if the Vayne's already in play, you Tama back the deleter.
It comes in dull.
Come
No,
to
no,
go.
Oh, with the ETB.
The ETB,
comes
yeah.
in, okay.
Yeah, but it didn't die because it got Vayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
or did it die to the next card we're going to?
That's
no,
not
it
illegal
didn't.
play.
Yeah. No, but what I want to point out is that the ability that Tama has is not efficient. But when you have it on the field and when it's essentially a 0-cost backup, it kind of pays for itself, and you just pay that little extra for the little battle trick of getting a Gipple, for getting another forward there to kind of like a roll commander to buff up your guys when you needed to, for the little battle trick.
The second ability, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, but it's not getting you the tempo back like with Devout. It's a little
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
It works a little different.
You're literally just playing a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
You're-
And you're losing it back up at that
Yeah.
point as
And
well.
this is just really annoying for decks that can't deal with certain Earth forwards.
Yeah,
And
multiple
if we
times.
get enough Earth forwards that different decks can't deal with, if you have like a certain certain forward that targets every deck and just can't
Yeah.
be killed by that deck,
Yeah.
this might become insane.
Yeah.
Because then you just keep bringing that back.
I definitely see
toolbox
this
the hate
Tama
cards.
getting better the longer the game goes.
Definitely,
But
yeah.
currently, we give it a.
We give it a 3+0. Like, it's a consideration in Earth decks, but beyond that, like, you know, you're not really gonna run it and not like even if you're not heavily commit to Earth.
It's more just because of the targets.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
got a
Yeah,
thing.
you're not really even going to run it in most Earth decks.
That's what you say, Kevin.
I actually think you would in like mono Earth decks. I think
Okay.
it would be
Yeah.
something that gets played.
But yeah. So next card, Kristen, want to tell us about it?
Yeah, so our next card isn't going to kill your 5-drop deleter.
Yeah, Jared.
This card is a 3-drop deleter. And it's from Tactics. It's a knight forward. When deleter enters the field, it's 7k. When deleter enters the field, choose one forward opponent controls. You may put one of your forwards of the same cost, other than deleter, into the break zone. If you do so, break the chosen forward. And when deleter is chosen by summons or abilities, deleter gains plus 1000 power until the end of the turn.
This includes your own summons or abilities, unlike
Yep.
a card like Ash.
Yeah, so I really like this
There are
deleter.
so many synergies to talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
So who wants to start?
Let's start with Kevin.
Okay, so obviously the natural place for this would be in a Knights deck. This gives the Knight deck a real reason to play Earth, because before it didn't really gain much from Earth.
Yeah.
Just the 3-cost deleter or the 5-cost, and maybe Brandolus,
Yeah.
but probably not. Now you have this amazing card that can capitalize on some of the new Knights in the set as well. So Daisadag is great as a target for the ETB ability, and in Lightning and Earth you have good cards that you want to die at all of the relevant costs. So you have Kate Sister at 1. You don't have 1 at 2, but
well, you can, like, you do have cards.
you have cards at 2, but none you really want to die. But that problem is addressed by the best target at 3, being Zelbag, which can kill the 2 and then get killed by Deleter to kill the 3.
Yeah.
Mm? And at 4 you can kill your Vanille, which just comes right back. And at 5 you have cards. At 5 you have cards like Azul, which will bring back a lightning monster. And if you bring back Dragon, you can kill something else as well. So you can just destroy an opponent's board with this deleter in that deck, and you can search a lot of the targets. You can search the 3-cost targets with Duke Otana and Lightning. He obviously also has a lot of synergy with the Lightning Ramsar, obviously my favorite card of the set. This is the first thing I saw, because Deleter will come in and break a thing, which will activate Ramsar, which means you can get 2 activations of Ramsar a turn. So you can give Deleter haste, which will give him plus 1k as well, so he'll win 8k haste, and then Ramza will still be active, so if they choose to try to do something to delete her, you can still give it plus 2k.
Yeah.
And the 2k is because 1k from Ramza and then 1k from Deleta.
Yeah. So this guy's insane when the rest of the deck supports it.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's okay if you're not specifically building around
Yeah,
it.
that's right. That's
You
right.
just
But
trade forwards. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a hackathon.
I want
Yeah.
I want that second line of text like in a different forward. That's not named Deleta.
I think-
Because that second line of text is so like I treasure that second line
I
of
keep
text.
forgetting the second line of text. Like I already think it's good, and then it also has this line of
Yeah,
text.
Think about it from your opponent's side of the field as well. I mean, that means a lot of good removal is just shut off against him. Like,
Well, even if you Leviathan him, he's got his great ETB.
yeah, like you don't want them to play him again. You don't want your Brunilda can't hit him. I mean, nobody really plays a Dramelec, but if they did, it couldn't kill him.
The Cloud doesn't kill him.
Cloud doesn't kill him. Yeah.
Yep, Gulg can still. Wow, that doesn't.
That's you.
You can just activate him, and now he has plus 2k.
Okay, so I think at the end we gave this card a 3+2.
Yeah.
It's a consideration in every deck, but +2 for the huge amount of synergy that you can do. with
Yeah.
it.
That's insane in a deck that can support him.
Yep.
Yeah. And the next card is Jared. Do you want to talk us through?
So it's a 2-cost monster called Bunga Thief. It's got the multi-card icon, and it has Earth. Until the end of turn, Bunga Thief also becomes a forward with 7k power and Brave. You can only use this ability once per turn.
It's just a vanilla monster.
Yeah.
We don't have
This
so
is-
much time on
yeah,
it.
Yeah,
we
this is
got-
like the green dragon in water. It's
Yeah.
just-
And I guess the only upside is it has Brave, so it can activate on your turn and your opponent's turn to block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's about it. It's,
All the regular considerations
don't-
of monsters, and nothing else. Basically,
I
because it's
don't. Other than that, so I think we just gave it a 2+0. It's
Yeah.
it's not gonna see much play.
But it's not worthless.
It's
Yeah.
not worth
I mean, yeah, it can go in like
Yeah.
the deck that's like I'm playing all my monsters and Shantoto.
Yeah.
The backup Shantoto. The good
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
So,
Okay, so the next card is Barrett. It's a 4-cost 8k forward. I love this card. It's a Brave. When Job Avalanche Operative you control other than Barrett is put from the field into the break zone, deal 2,000 damage to all the forward opponent controls. And it's going to S ability Satellite Beam, S 2 Earth CP Dull, deal 5,000 damage to all the forward opponent controls.
Yeah, he is pretty cool. There's a lot of interesting combo potential as well. He lines up with the bigs from the starter deck.
Starter deck, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Opus 1 starter deck.
Yep, kill your Avalanche Operative, deal tons of damage in AoE.
But he doesn't have enough support right now.
Yeah.
I just don't. Yeah.
Well, the Avalanche Operative line of text doesn't have
Doesn't,
enough
yeah,
support,
yeah,
but
that's
I
right,
think the
that's right.
AoE is fully supported,
Yeah,
especially since now we have 2 searches for Barrett. So you
Yeah.
can search the one you play and search the one you S with.
Yeah.
And if you're playing a deck that can capitalize on this with a follow-up AoE, so like Valorful in Wind,
Or Bomb.
or Bomb and Fire, Cyclops and Lightning.
The
There's-
original Light Cloud has Meteor Rain as his
Yeah,
first
yeah.
S.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or-
that's
or-
a lot of discarding specific cards, but
Or
that's-
even the
new
new Light
Cloud.
Cloud. The new
Yeah,
Cloud,
yes,
same
the
thing.
Cloud, yeah.
Yeah.
So you can potentially just play this in a mono Earth deck, play 3 of the Light Cloud and Barrett.
Yeah. And then just the other clouds just for the S.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we gave it a 3+1. It's a solid card that can be considered dex and +1 for the synergy that it has with the Avalanche Operative forwards.
And the AoE.
And the
AoE.
Mostly
Yeah.
the AoE.
yeah.
And AoE, yeah. Okay, next card. Chris, you want to talk to
Bigs.
us?
it's a 2-drop backup. It's an Avalanche Operative. Ooh,
Ooh.
I wonder if that's relevant. As Dull, choose 1 job Avalanche Operative. Look at that. 1 Avalanche Operative. It doesn't say it has to be a forward.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't.
It gains plus 1,000 power until the end of the turn.
Does that mean that you can give
Your backups
your
plus 1
backups
now.
power?
Yeah, power.
Yeah.
I block with my backup.
If you control a cat named Wedge, it gains plus 2,000 power until the end of the turn instead.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I haven't heard a rule. I assume that
Yeah.
backups having power doesn't automatically make
I
it forwards.
don't think. It
I don't
No,
think.
they
I
don't.
think
Because then they could they'd also be able to just trigger Barrett.
the way
Yeah,
I
yeah.
interpret it is Biggs can target a backup avalanche operative, but because it has no power, it doesn't have 0 power.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
doesn't have a power
Oh, yeah.
value, so
Yeah.
it gets plus. Like it just gets lost that plus.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
guess
it works that way.
I think it was probably just a typo.
Yeah, probably.
No.
No?
These are all translations, so it could have
No,
just been
no,
mistranslation. Oh,
No,
okay,
there's
yeah.
never been a translation error in this game.
Obviously, Genesis Avatar was translated perfectly.
Yeah, Cagnezo.
Yeah.
Permanent minus. buff.
Ooh.
Anyway, so like there isn't much to say about this card. It fits in a very particular deck.
I don't
but
think it even fits in that deck, especially
Yeah.
since it has anti-synergy with the
other
Barrett's effect.
Yeah.
Because this one you want to keep alive.
I think the problem is I feel like they're telegraphing there are going to be
Something.
more Avalanche operatives.
That's right.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nah, but they always do this. They
Yeah.
telegraph things, then don't do it. Just wait till we get to wind.
Oh no.
Yeah. Or even like pirates. We want more pirates. Anyways, that's not the point. But yeah. Oh, so we just gave a 1+0. Yeah. It's
Not much to say.
Not much
Yeah.
to say more than that. Yeah. The next card, Kevin, do you wanna?
Okay, so this is Earth's 2-cost Geomancer, multi-card. It has an ability Earth and 1, dull. Choose 1 forward, it gains Brave until the end of the turn.
It's like the red mage equivalent in Earth. It does what Earth things do.
Yeah, just compare
Um,
it to Monk. It doesn't break and it doesn't give the power.
Yeah.
But it gives
Yeah.
the Brave. So if the Brave is the power that you care about, which certain decks do,
Mm.
for example with Onion Knights
Yeah.
and
Yes.
things like that,
Yeah.
then it's totally worth it.
Or even like any deck where you want to like attack and use the S
Yeah.
or
Yep.
anything like that. You know, it's
Or just have a safe attack in a deck otherwise without it. So maybe in just a
yeah, exactly.
Earth splash deck with other element forwards.
Yeah,
that don't
and-
naturally have Brave.
And it can splash as well because of the
Mm.
cost. Like compared
Yeah.
to like Astrologian or Nono,
Mm.
it's like the same. If we ignore the color of the cost,
Mm.
it's the same cost, but I'd say activating a forward is better than giving one Brave.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's
Um,
right.
This
Yeah.
is Earth and 1 generic.
But
Yeah.
exactly,
Mm.
so it's more splashable if you're not in wind or water
Mm.
already.
Mm.
And also it gives Earth access to something else like activating
Mm,
their forward.
that's
right?
right, yeah.
So what did we give Geomancer?
We gave the 3+1. Obvious synergies, good card. Next one.
I'm looking forward to Onion Knight combos with this.
Yeah, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Prish. Another Prish. It's a 2-cost 5k forward. Still is an abhorrent one. If you control 4 or more Earth backups, Prish gains +2k and Brave. When Prish is put into the field, put from the field into the break zone, you may pay Earth. If you do, play 1 card named Prish from your hand onto the field. Dull.
It will stay dull forever.
Not if you play the 2-cost,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's really interesting because I think that what they could have easily done is just make it a 2-cost 6k with that second line of text, and then people will still play it. But that first line of text makes it like be played in more types of decks,
Yeah.
or a
it-
particular type of deck, I guess you can say.
well, mono Earth.
Yeah.
It does give it a little bit of a bump.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, two drop 7Ks have tended to be pretty good.
Yeah.
And this is another one.
And honestly, this is just a standalone card, even with without the other person.
That's what I thought. Yeah. That's
Yep.
that's too.
A 2-drop
Uh,
7K that gives you like an awkwardly timed but a 1 CP discount on the next one.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, it's eh. I think is why we justified the score that we gave it without the synergy.
Yeah. And
But
but,
then-
but
but
obviously,
Once you got the synergy.
yeah, but the obvious synergies with the 5 cost and the 6 cost.
This is
and
the best pressure enabler because this one is not a big investment.
That's
So
right. Yeah, you play this
means-
early.
Yeah, this means the next one is not so big of an investment
Mm.
either because it only costs 1.
No, the reason
Yep.
why I like it is because you play it early so that you can get the other push, but then you can also play it late when it's a 7k brave. You
or
know?
you can play it early and then develop your backups. and
Yeah,
make
yeah.
it gain the same.
Yeah. So that's it's just so I think we gave it at the end 3+1.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing more to say
Powerful
there.
card in
In a
Prish
Prish
deck.
deck.
Actually, it might be like just an auto include in a Prish
It will
deck.
Probably
I
be.
think-
Yeah.
It
a
makes-
Prish deck,
it
you
makes
play
the
all
Prish
the
deck.
Prishes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you
I
could
mean-
even plus 2 it for that. It's a 5 in those decks.
Yeah.
It does.
Possibly.
It does want you to play a mono Earth Prish deck.
Mm.
Yeah,
Which is,
and in
which
that
is
deck,
a little difficult.
Yeah.
this card's really
Well,
powerful
this
in that
is-
deck.
This is probably the Prish deck that might make that less clunky because right now you have to invest 6 into a push,
Mm.
and if it gets removed otherwise, you just lose all of that.
Yeah, no,
But this, you only have to invest 2, which you get what you pay for 2.
yeah, and
a bit more.
you play it on turn 2 ideally after you've
Mm.
played your turn 1 backup
Mm.
and say, all right, well, you want to kill it?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just threaten.
You get to just look at your hand and then look in their face and stare them down. Like, do I have a push?
I played a lot of games. I made a push deck when the second one came out. I played a lot of games against Greg, and he hated having to attack into it. Or even when he could kill the push, he was afraid to do so because another one would show up.
Doesn't he have red mage though?
He did, but I mean, Greg. He's prone to flights of fancy.
What?
Okay.
Anyway, so what did we gave it for 3 plus 1?
Greg out of 5 now.
Maybe a 3 plus 2.
I think 3 plus 2.
Okay,
is
fine.
good,
3
I
plus
think.
2.
Yeah.
3 plus 2. Okay. Yeah, the next card is a summon. 2 cost Hecatonk here. Choose 1 forward you control and 1 forward opponent controls. Each forward deals damage equal to its power to the other. So just a fight card.
This card, I'm so happy that they've finally printed, because this is like the sort of removal that Earth has been wanting since Opus 1. We've already mentioned Hecatonka a few times beforehand. I think this card is a card that Earth has been wanting since the start of the game, and again, like that Atomos, I feel it covers a lot of the gaps that you otherwise would have had. It gives you more consistency with those effects as well. And also opens up, I mean, if you didn't want to play that Roban, because maybe there's another new Roban coming in this set.
Maybe. That may be a possibility.
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
how could they do that? Come on.
They wouldn't
How
print
could
another robot.
They wouldn't put another Roban. The first one's already so good.
well, that's how they get you. They
No.
know that they print new cards with the same name as old good cards.
Wow, really?
Is that why there's so many clouds?
Yes.
Anyway, obviously we've mentioned this Hecatonk quite a few times previously. Finally we get to it. It obviously has all those synergies. It also has synergies with other cards that just want to die, really. So like Zack wants to die. This would be fine on a Zandy. It's kind of like a Bahamut on that.
You get to deal 9k to 2 things whenever you want.
Well,
so Earthfire,
they have a 9k as well. But,
Are there any non-fire forts you can think of to? I mean, it's good with Dartaluna, like we said.
well, in water, if you use this on their turn, they will do 4k less to Cagneto.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool.
So
I
you
hadn't
can
considered
use it
that.
as a 5k damage in that deck, I
Oh,
guess.
that's neat.
Oh yeah, and then you have the egg race for the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
strike.
yeah.
You have like egg race, pick those up. Hecatonk here.
Well, actually, in that vein, then Warrior of Light and Garland is also
Yeah.
good with this card.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
With
Adamantoise.
Adamantoise, yeah.
Oh yeah, wait, the Garland that makes this Garland so much better.
I mean, he was
The
already
the
pretty good.
4-cost Garland.
The forecast one. Yeah. No, the thing is because, like, it's not incredibly relevant for the minus 2k on your turn.
Because they can just deal with it on their turn.
On their
when they
turn,
can.
and like it's much easier to deal something on your turn anyway. So like this one's Fire Earth.
Fair enough.
Yeah, not bad. Anyways, so I think at the end we gave it a 3+1.
But a lot of the time, it is going to have that +1. That +1 is going to be.
That's right.
in effect
It's,
most of the
yeah.
it's
time.
also, I think, going to be among Earth cards. You will be, it's like Ifrit
Yeah.
for
fire.
For
Ah,
fire.
for
It's
Earth.
gonna replace my Opus 3 Atomos.
Yes.
Okay.
probably.
Because
Possibly.
whenever I put that in for the Emperors and stuff, this is gonna definitely come slide right in.
This gets countered if they kill the forward you
Yeah,
chose.
I
then.
Yes.
Oh, we
Whereas
will.
Atomos
Yeah.
always resolves.
But I think that's a trade-off. It's a
Yeah.
trade-off.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to. You have to.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a very strong consideration.
Mhm.
I think it's going to be seen in a lot of Earth
Yeah.
decks.
Seems like a very pretty stable Earth card.
Shall we move on?
Yep. The next card.
We did a whole podcast about this.
Yeah.
Hot boy.
So this card is Magic Pot. It costs 1 CP.
Full of hot air.
Oh god.
Oh.
That's. I think that's gonna be our worst one to date.
You just sprung that on us.
Yeah.
We were not prepared for that.
Okay. Anyway, so 1 CP. It's a multi-card, and it's a monster. I'm sure everybody knows Magic Pot by now, but just for the sake of completion, Magic Pot comes into play dull, and you can spend 1 Earth. That's just 1 Earth CP to undull it. Put Magic Pot and 1 forward into the break zone. Search for 1 forward with the same name as the forward put into the break zone and play it onto the battlefield. onto the field. Sorry, you can only use this ability during your turn.
So I think because we talked about this a lot on our podcast is that let's just say like it's a strong card. It has a lot of
amazing
synergies. It's cheap, but also has some drawbacks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Comes in dull. You gotta use it straight away.
yeah. But like it's gonna be seen. Like it's gonna be used and people are gonna use it to great effect
There
as
are
well.
going to be magic pot decks and then decks that just run magic pot
That's
as well.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
On
So
your turn, it can just save a forward.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Or that you reuse your ETBs.
So I think that at the end we gave this card a 4+1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We were trying to give it 5+2.
Because I don't
we
think it's
couldn't
quite
justify
an
it.
auto include in every deck that's running Earth.
Yeah. It's not
Almost is.
It's
Almost,
so
yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you might be running lots of like unique names
Yeah.
that don't particularly get value.
Well, so do you want to do
the
4
magic part.
4+2?
Um,
I'm
yeah,
okay with that.
I'd be okay,
Yeah,
okay with the 4+2
4+2.
because I think it's a 6 when it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
when it works,
Okay.
it's amazing.
Okay, so
Yeah.
4+2. I think that's its better choice.
yeah, I agree
If you want to see more information, go check out our podcast.
with that. yeah.
Yeah. I'll try
What's
to link that.
Mehmet, what's the name of that podcast again?
I'll leave the name up here and the people they'll know. Okay, so Kevin, what's in the next card?
The next card is the 2-cost monk backup from Opus 4. It reads 2 earth and dull. Put monk into the break zone. Choose 1 dull forward you control. It cannot be broken this turn.
So it's Titan, but on
On a forward that's not doing anything.
On a backup. It's on
Unless it's
It, well,
attacking.
I mean, it's important because
No, no, the
it's
backup.
not a summon that's doing it.
No, I mean it's a Titan on a forward.
Oh,
right,
right.
yeah.
That's not doing anything. Like the last part of.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It has to be
yeah.
null.
I mean, like you can
the main
attack with
part
it.
would-
Yeah, I think that's
while
unless it's attacking. We had
yeah.
that little disclaimer there.
It's definitely more proactive.
Mm.
I mean, I'd sooner play this over. What was the black mage we were talking about earlier? If you're worrying about ice decks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think this is
It
more
cannot be
valuable
null. Yeah.
because. I mean.
Wait, what?
This saves 1 against Alora, I
Yeah.
guess.
Because you might be able to activate them later or something. I feel like it's not so much a direct power comparison or ability comparison. I just feel like I personally would play this one over the other one.
Yeah. I like it more than Titan. When I don't play Earth much, but when I do, and I have Titan, I always feel like it's a liability in my hand. Like, I've got to keep it in my hand, and like something to
That's
play it
right,
with.
that's
I-
right, yeah.
Monk is just a
It's-
backup you can invest in, and you're almost always going to be in a situation where you can use this ability,
But
even just on a risky
In that
attack.
sense, I mean, Titan, just like we were talking about when we were talking about Golem, Goblin and Golem, having it in play, your opponents know about it. It's something that they can then play around.
Yeah.
So that's the.
It's also Titan 4 through 6.
It is also Titan
Yeah.
4 through 6 if you
So
want.
if you really want to protect like your Minerva or something,
Yeah.
and, I don't know, if you've got Wits or something to stop it dying other ways,
Yeah.
then
And
like
there are people who make decks like that. I mean,
yeah.
those
And
are-
also
those are
Tam is in
fun.
those decks. Like you just make your like there's one super forward that's like
Yeah.
always coming back.
Yeah,
And it's just
yeah.
either
This could
not
be-
dying or it's coming back.
Yeah.
If they have a really annoying Earth 5 cost forward, this could just be an
Oh, 4
amazingly.
costs. I think Tam is fine with that.
Yeah,
as
Tam is
well.
fine with the 4 cost. This will be amazingly annoying to deal with.
Yeah.
So I think in the end we just gave it a 3+0. That it's just a consideration and a deck. Yeah. Yeah. So next card, Jared, do you want to tell us about?
Sure.
I love
It's a 4-cost 8k forward called Roban.
Wow.
it?
When Roban enters the field, choose 1 forward opponent controls, deal it and Roban 9k damage.
I love how I have a mime of how this works, where he just walks up to the opponent forward and he punches them and himself in the face at the same time. I'm not sure how the flavor like works with this.
I don't
He has a self-sacrifice moment at the end of a round.
But he's
Okay.
just like he hits himself. Like he hits them and himself. It's not like them doing the damage. Or anything.
This is a hilarious event.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
just comes into play and dies immediately.
He
Yeah.
feels to me like he's not actually a forward. He's a summon,
Yeah.
Yeah.
unless you've got like a Maria and an Anacrow somehow.
It's the same sort of thing. How I always say, Shantoto is not a backup. It's a summon that you can only
Yeah.
use on your turn.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is a removal summon that you can only use on your turn.
Pretty much.
He's-
But you can save them.
Yeah,
sometimes.
if you can save him for relatively low cost, he's an exceptional forward.
That's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And,
if,
and he can get rid of Garnet,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
a huge thing.
One
Yeah.
of the things I'm a big fan of Earth and Wind. So like going Anacro, Maria, and then Roban kills almost all the forwards in the game unbuffed, right?
Yeah.
That's and then he's also a 10k forward. That's just for CP.
That's quite.
But
insane.
you don't even have to invest that much. You can just go Golem, or you can just go the Goblin we were talking about before. Like that's not a huge investment to kill one of their guys and for you to get an 8k.
Adamantoise.
Yeah,
Adamantoise.
I think-
will just save this.
I think Adamantoise is my favorite character to just bring up.
Does
Yeah.
Adamantoise save him from himself? I thought
Yeah,
it was
'cause of
only
the
your opponent's effect.
No,
No,
It's
it's
the
just
next
the
damage.
next damage it takes.
Oh,
is
cool.
reduced.
That's really
So
neat.
that is the cheapest way to save this card.
Oh yeah, because you can draw a
Yeah,
card.
It
yeah.
gets you a card. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, like some people were
I-
really like confused about why this card.
Yeah, I think if you think about it the wrong way, it
Yeah,
can
yeah.
be seen as a bad card. It's just a forward that kills himself. It's terrible, but it's just the removal.
He takes up the summon slot, not a
No,
forward
but like
slot.
no, but yeah, like imagine a 4-cost summon that deals 9k. Just like think about it like that.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
amazing.
Yeah,
Like I
it's
think
slightly
better
worse
than
than
Ifrit.
that, but it can be better.
Yeah.
Or a 4-cost summon that deals 9k and leaves a body maybe.
Or
Maybe.
think about
Maybe.
Kefka, that costs 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
He's I think this is one of the better forwards in the set.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
And-
it's not a 4.
Oh, sorry, one of the better summons.
So we
Yeah.
have a backup Roban, a summon Roban.
I
Yeah.
also I really like that when Murad, you brought it up. I like when you're putting your deck together, you look at your forwards. Oh, look at all these forwards. Oh, look at all these backups, and then look at all these forwards that are also summons.
You'll have the Shantotos being a summon, the Robans being
Yeah.
a summon.
Yeah, yeah.
it's also devoutable. So you
Yes.
can turn your devouts into tellers.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Tamaable.
Tamaable.
Yeah.
No, come on, that's good. No, because
No,
because
it's not. You pay set. Wait.
no.
Paying
Yeah.
7 to kill a forward is something that Lightning players have been doing. Since
What did we
Opus
rate
I.
the Magus? That did 9k and it cost 5 as a backup.
No, wait.
That's
No,
an ETB with a condition. Though.
It's 7 if you don't like.
It's good. No, it's good with Talon because then you can use that on a stack on top of something. Like so, you play Roban and then you can stack something on top of it, so you get a Gippo and you can save it.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like it's not like
It's okay.
yeah, it's like it's still an okay
Well,
thing.
yeah, no. In that case, the play would be to play Roban and then to Talon.
Yeah,
and
that's
Gippo.
right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Anyways, so I think in the end we give this a 4+1 because
Yep.
like
Completely agree with
it's
that.
a strong synergy. Sorry, it's a strong card and has a little bit of synergy for you to get another forward on the field.
Yeah.
He's always going to be a draw. Like you're hard pressed to find Lightning cards that don't run Odin,
Mm.
and he feels like an Odin.
I actually like.
Just a little bit slower.
You know how we don't like it when things are named the same? I kind of like how this is named Roban as well because now I've got an extra Earth backup slot that I can put something in. You know?
You could run those Mustadios.
Oh, you're going to put Tama in it, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah.
He already plays Tama though.
True,
No,
true.
but that time was gonna take over the brave one. The brave one's
Okay,
gonna.
alright,
take that.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
See the puzzle for me.
Yeah,
so that was Earth.
Yeah.
That was Earth.
Fine.
Yeah, that was Earth.
I should clarify. I think the reason I'm not such a fan of Earth traditionally has been because I just find its forwards very boring.
Yeah.
Not necessarily that I think they're bad. I just think they're boring. But in Opus 4, they got some really interesting forwards.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
So many
funny
interesting
that we're ending on one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like you're gonna put this Roban in so you can devour it and
Yeah.
you ice Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Let us know in the comments what you think of it. Do you agree or disagree with us? And come next time for our next set review for Wind.
Win.
Yeah.
See you next
That's great.
See you next time. Number
Bye.
one, Potato Boss out.